Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jaya Mr. Padaman Sarai Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Jai. All glories to the Asama devotees. All glories to the Asama devotees. All glories to the Asama devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Mukam karati vachalam pangam lankayate girim yakipam tamaham vande Sri Guru Dinatavinam Om Gyana Tivarandasya Garanjara Shalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So can we have the picture of the full Bhagavatam? The first, yes, this picture. You can zoom in a bit so we can see. This is the form of the Bhagavatam. That's also the form of the Bhagavatam. Radha Krishna. Is the picture? No, the picture's not coming. Coming? Yeah, right. Okay, we shall wait. We need to have the picture, yeah. So then they can see what's going on here. It's possible to zoom it a little? Yeah, okay. We don't need the writing at the top. Just the form. This is the form of the Bhagavatam, Krishna. Let's go to Krishna's lotus feet. And I'd like to welcome you to the first class, the only class here. The second class will be at Nanda Suta's house. So this is the first class, first half of the seminar, first 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's all based on this book, Srimad Bhagavatam at a glance, and all the pictures you see up there are inside here. So here, the first picture is the form of the Bhagavatam. And we see Krishna's lotus feet. There's 2 lotus flowers down there, and that's the first and second canto. Then now go up a bit. There, then the next, third and fourth canto are little bit next to his feet, there are his legs. Fifth canto is on the left side of his feet, that is his waist. And sixth canto, which is on the right side there, is his chest. Now go up by his face and you will see 7 and 8 are his arms, 9 is his neck, and all the way to the top we have 10th canto, his smiling face. And these lotuses show all the sections within the cantos. So we have to start at Krishna's lotus feet, and that will be first canto and second canto. We will start. So go to the first canto picture now. Srila Prabhupada said everything is in. Go to the next picture. Next picture. Yes. Okay, go down. There's 4 sections here. Go to the left. We see Narada and Vyas. That's the first 6 chapters. So we will start there on this first lotus petal here. So Srila Prabhupada said that if you chant 1 chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam every day, at the end of 1 year, you'll become a scholar of Bhagavatam. So I did that. And after 1 or 2 years, I started teaching Bhagavatam. So everything is in the first canto, everything is in the first chapter, and everything's in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so the sages of Naisharanya are very eager to hear Bhagavatam, and they're sitting for 1,000 years. So we just have an hour and a half here for half of the Bhagavatam. So the first 3 chapters there are about becoming a qualified hearer and a qualified receiver, chanter, speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're going to have some lessons in each picture, and after the end of each picture, I'll ask you, what lesson did you learn? So here in this first lotus flower, in chapter 2, there is the connection between Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita before the Battle of Kurukshetra, and Bhagavatam comes after the Battle of Kurukshetra. We'll see that later on. And what is the connection? First of all, the end of Gita, Krishna says, surrender to me, sarva dharmam parityaja. So beginning of Bhagavatam, dharma projita kaitavachai, kicks out all cheating dharma. So that's one connection. And also in the second verse, how to hear Bhagavatam. How to hear. You must be non-envious, attentive, and submissive, and you will capture Krishna in your heart. Because Bhagavatam is Krishna, non-different from Krishna. And so if you want to capture Krishna in your heart, then hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so the first lesson is, what is the qualification to hear Bhagavatam? The qualification to hear is submissive, attentive, and non-envious. Good. So now in the 3rd chapter, still in this lotus, we get another lesson. The whole theme of the whole Bhagavatam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There might be other incarnations, but they are not the Supreme. Krishna is the original from whom all incarnations come. That's our second lesson here. Now I'm going to read chapter 4. Here we see Vyasadeva down at the bottom of that lotus there. And he is not happy. He wrote the Vedas, he wrote Vedanta Sutra, but he's not happy. So I'll write this. I'll read this from chapter 4. In the beginning of Kali Yuga, Vyasadeva foresaw the world's dark future. Thus he recorded the Vedas and Upanishads, and he himself wrote Mahabharata and Vedanta Sutra. Despite his great literary achievements, however, he remained dissatisfied. Why was he unhappy? This is explained, go back to the picture. In chapter 5, you see Narada is speaking to Vyas there in chapter 5. And he's saying, you did not describe Krishna enough. You did so much about Brahman, the Jyoti, but not about Krishna. So here is our 3rd lesson. The 3rd lesson we get from this picture here in Canto 1. The 3rd lesson If Krishna is not there, everything is inauspicious. If Krishna is there, everything is auspicious. So if Krishna is not in our life, then it will be inauspicious. For those who are newcomers, we're reading from this book, Srimad Bhagavatam, at a glance. And you're seeing the pictures up there. Here's a picture for every verse. Go to the next pedal. Down. Yes, this one. This one. So Krishna in Hastinapur and Dwarka. Here we see again another connection with Bhagavatam and Gita, chapter 7, on the left. Vyasadeva is meditating. He's seeing Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot. So beginning of Gita, he was driving Arjuna's chariot. Now it's the end of the battle of Kurukshetra, and he's still driving Arjuna's chariot. And that's where he comes, Krishna enters Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 7. So chapter 8, Kunti is praying to Krishna, please don't leave. Now you are here in our kingdom. Everything is auspicious. If you leave, everything will become inauspicious. Again, that's same lesson. Where Krishna is there, everything is auspicious. If Krishna leaves, everything is inauspicious. Okay, then we see Bhishma Dev, chapter 9, where he's seeing Krishna, time of death. Chapter 10, everything again is becoming inauspicious. Krishna is leaving Hastinapur. Chapter 11, he's going into Dwarka, so everything's becoming auspicious. So go to the next. No, not the next picture. No. Yeah, go back to Canto 1, please. Not this picture. Yeah, that petal. Yeah, that lotus. Good. Here Krishna is leaving. We see chapter 14, so many inauspicious symptoms because Krishna left the planet. So this is the same theme. Krishna is leaving, everything is inauspicious. And there we go. Pandavas also leave home in chapter 15. Now go up to the top lotus there. And here we see Kali is entering, and Parikshit is meeting Kali. So there was another lesson in that bottom lotus. That's okay, you can stay where you are. In chapter 15, when Krishna leaves and Arjuna loses all his power, where does he go for help? Where does he go? He remembers Krishna's instructions in Bhagavad Gita, and he feels solace. So the next lesson, when you are feeling separation from Krishna, read Bhagavad Gita, read Srimad Bhagavatam, and you will feel happy, and you will feel solace. So we have heard about this first canto. Here he is, Parikshit at the end. He's waiting. He's asking the question to Shukadeva Goswami, what is the duty of a man about to die? So that's how it ends, the first canto. Now I ask you, what lessons did you learn from this canto? Anybody remember a lesson? Yeah, you can tell also if you remember. When Krishna is there, everything is auspicious. When Krishna leaves, everything is auspicious. Good. Any other lessons from the first canto? He was not satisfied. Yes, good. Because he didn't describe Krishna. Any other lessons from the first canto? Does anybody remember what is the qualification to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? You must be submissive, attentive, and non-envious. Okay? Now one very big lesson about Krishna. What did we learn about Krishna? Of course, we probably already know it. But Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Good. Go to Canto 2, next picture. Good. We have 3 sections here, yoga process on the left, universal form in the middle, and creation on the right. So let's go to the yoga processes on the left. Down. Yeah, there. Okay, good. So here in chapter 1, it's mercy for the impersonalist, because Krishna is talking about, Shukadeva Goswami is talking about the universal form. And he also answers Parikshit's question, what should a man chant, hear, and remember at the time of death? Chant and hear about Krishna. So chapter 2, we have the Super Soul. This is mercy for the yogis. They can meditate on Paramatma in the heart and then make advancement. And chapter 3 is mercy for the devotees. They can do devotional service and get purity of heart, purification, change of heart. So I'll read chapter 3 from Canto 2. Shukadeva describes the path of worshipping demigods and recommends everyone worship Krishna, whether he be full of desires or desireless. So here's the first lesson here. If you have material desire, you have no desire, or you want liberation, just worship Krishna. Don't worship other demigods. That's the first lesson we get from this Canto 2. The second lesson, again, is in chapter 3. With every rising and setting of the sun, you lose your life. A day is lost. So therefore, except for those who are chanting and hearing about Krishna. So if you want to be free from death, then hear Srimad Bhagavatam, second lesson. So then we go to the middle lotus. Yeah, it has, in chapter 4, Shukadeva is praying for empowerment. Here's our next lesson. Before we eat, before we do anything, before we speak, we must pray. Pray for help, pray for empowerment from Krishna. So before he's speaking Bhagavatam, he's praying Shukadeva here. And we go to the chapter 6 there. We have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Brahma is the beginning of creation, and all the Prajapatis. In the middle is Vishnu and the demigods and kings, and the end is Lord Shiva and the atheists and anger. Creation, maintenance, and destruction. And then in the right side we have all the incarnations. Varaha, Kurma, Matsya. All the incarnations are there, and Krishna is the supreme. Okay, go up to the right lotus, and that is creation. And so Parikshit is asking many questions about creation, and the answer is the Chatu Shloki Bhagavatam, the 4 seed verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. To search for Krishna, understand your relationship with him, and finally see him everywhere in full love of Godhead. And then the 10th chapter is about the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. So what lessons do you learn from second canto? Does anybody remember something? Yeah, time of death you should chant here and remember about Krishna. Good. Yeah, just worship Krishna. If you have material desire or no desire, just worship Krishna. Good. Good. Any other lessons? Pray before you do anything. Yes, and Krishna will give you empowerment. Krishna will give you empowerment. Good. Good. Okay, so let's go to Canto 3, Part 1. Yeah, yes? Yeah, his universal form. The mercy for the impersonalists in Chapter 1 is description of Krishna's universal form. Because the impersonalists, they say this world is useless. But you can see the things of this world as very useful in relation to the form of the Lord. The trees are his hairs, and that's where we get our medicine. And the clouds are the hair on his head. His belly is the ocean. So if you take bath in the ocean, it helps your digestion. It helps your any illness in the abdomen if you take bath in the ocean, because it's related to universal form. And the veins are, his veins are the river. So if you take bath in the river, good for your nerves. So it's very helpful if you can relate the things of this world to the form of the Lord. And it's good for impersonalists because they can't conceive of a form. So that's what we said. Yes, Chapter 1. Good. Okay, let's go to, this is the 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. Up on top it's creation, number 1, and then we have sub-creation of Brahma, then petal number 3 is sthana, maintenance. Oh, okay, go to the right. There's there's visarga, then go down, sthana, and then to the left there is number 4, poshana, protection, and then next 5 uti, creative impetus, go to the left, manmantara, then go up, ishanukata, science of God, up to the top, nirodha, annihilation, mukti, liberation, and finally in the middle, Krishna, Ashraya. So all the 9 topics of Bhagavatam are dependent on Krishna. We'll go to the next picture, Canto 3, Part 1. The first petal is about Krishna Leela. First, Uddhava is kicked out of the palace, and then Krishna talks about Vrindavan, not Krishna, Uddhava. Talks to Vidura, who was kicked out. He met Uddhava in Vrindavan, actually. And Uddhava was remembering Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, especially we see Putana here, very famous verse, and how merciful is the Lord who gave liberation to Putana, who came to kill him. Then in the next picture, chapter 3, is Krishna's pastimes in Dwaraka. And the last petal up there, chapter 4, that's Krishna's leaving the planet, and Uddhava goes back to see him. Although Krishna sent him with a message to Badrikashram, Uddhava is feeling too much separation. So he goes back to see Krishna. No, go up again. Yeah, there, chapter 4. There's a lesson there. I'll read chapter 4 also. Yeah, from here. After Krishna leaves Dwarka, Uddhava follows him. He sees Krishna sitting beneath a banyan tree, preparing to leave this world. The Lord instructs Uddhava and Maitreya in transcendental knowledge. Krishna sends Uddhava to Badrikashram with a message and asks him to preach to the devotees there. Now the lesson here, Prabhupada gives us in the purport, unless you feel separation from Krishna like Uddhava, you cannot understand Bhagavatam, especially the 4 seed verses. You must feel separation from Krishna, and then you can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. Well, now we go to the next lotus, down. Yes, good. Chapter 5 is creation. Purpose of creation. There's a purpose here. And that is compassion of the Lord. He's feeling compassion for all the sleeping souls. He wants to wake us up and bring us to the spiritual world where we can enjoy with him. So first lesson, what is the purpose of creation? Compassion, to take us back to Godhead. That's chapter 5. Chapter 6 is the universal form, again. And chapter 7, more questions. Go to the right a little bit. Yeah, and up. Chapter 8, Brahma is born. Chapter 9. Now there's some wonderful lesson I will read chapter 9. Brahma is offering prayers. It's the beginning of Brahma's day. First thing when he wakes up, he offers prayers. Brahma surrendered to the Lord and prayed for the power to create the universe as it was before. The Lord assured Brahma, don't worry, all knowledge will be revealed to you from within your heart. Now, what is the lesson we learn here? When Brahma prays, he prays for protection from fall down. Brahma is afraid of falling down because he has associate with so many disturbed, agitated, motive, ignorance, and passion living entities. He's the father of everyone. So it's really hard for him to create and not fall down. So two things that he is praying for protection from. Fall down due to pride and fall down due to deviation. He's afraid of deviating from the Vedas, from the Vedic sound. We should also be afraid. So then, now go to the top lotus there. This is the last section, Varaha Rupa. The earth has fallen down. Go up to the right. Yeah, good. the earth has fallen down into the Garbhodaka ocean. And one demon is there, Hiranyaksha, and he has brought the earth down there for the for the inhabitants of the lower planets to enjoy. They want to enjoy the earth. But Manu needs it as a place for him to live. He needs to live there. So he's praying to Brahma. He said, please help me. So when he prayed to Brahma, out of Brahma's nostril came Varahadev, the boar incarnation. And so now he's fighting with Hiranyaksha. I'll read what happens. Before fighting with Hiranyaksha, Lord Varaha rescued the earth from the depths of the ocean. So you see the top picture, go up a little bit. Go up. Yeah, the top there, chapter 18, he's got the earth on his tusks. He saved the earth planet. Now a lesson we learn from Varaha is that no matter what form the Lord takes, even the form of a pig, he's transcendental. And Varaha did a very heavy thing, but he had a big body, huge body. And he picked up the earth and put it on his tusks and put the earth back where it belonged. So when we hear these different pastimes in the 3rd and 4th and 5th cantos, when we come to 10th canto, we won't be surprised when Krishna lifts Govardhan Hill, because all the incarnations are inside Krishna. He has all the power of all the incarnations. Okay, so what lesson did we learn from this picture? Lessons. There were 2 lessons. No, there were 4 lessons. 4 lessons in this picture. Does anybody remember one lesson? Unless we feel separation from Krishna, we can't understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Good. Any other lessons? Yes, Brahma prayers for protection. What were the 2 things that Brahma prayed for protection? Fall down from pride and deviation. Good. Okay, other lessons? Purpose of creation. Compassion of the Lord. Another lesson. One more lesson. Yes. No matter what form the Lord takes, it's transcendental. Even if he takes the form of a pig, it's still transcendental. Okay, go to the next picture. 3rd canto, part 2. Now the left is Kardama and Devahuti. You can see down a little bit. Yeah. Kardama is praying there, down more. He's praying to the Lord. The Lord appears. He's praying for a wife, actually. So these are examples in Bhagavatam where we have some devotees are praying for material things, but it's for their service. His service was to have population, create population in the universe. So for that he needed a wife. Then he got a wife. Next, go back to Canto 3. Yeah. Go back. You're in the wrong picture now. Yeah, no, you're in the wrong picture. Go back to the last picture. Last picture, Canto 3. No, this is Canto 4. Go back to the last picture. Last Canto, Canto 3, 3.2, go back. There we are, okay. So there, yes, he has appeared. Lord appears, he's going to bring, and here comes Devahuti. Here comes Devahuti. So Devahuti and Kardama Muni and Manu, who is the father of Devahuti, they're having a conversation. And we hear and how they're glorifying each other. And this is showing how Varnashram is a culture of respect. They're both glorifying each other. It's based on love. So that's the first lesson we learn here in this picture. How Varnashram is based on love. Okay, go to the next big petal to the right. And here we have Kapila Dev's teachings to Devahuti. She was afraid of being caught in the material world and she wants out, and so Kapila Dev is speaking to her knowledge how to get out of this material world. And I'll read chapter 28. 28 is down, that yogi, you see the Paramatma again. In Ashtanga Yoga process, the yogi meditates on the form of the Lord in the heart, beginning with the Lord's lotus feet. Lord Vishnu's feet shatter the mountain of sin within the heart. Good. So, chapter 29 also. Lord Kapila describes pure devotional service which spontaneously flows out of attraction for the Lord. A pure devotee sees super soul in the hearts of all, thus worships not only the Lord in the temple, but all living entities by treating them with compassion, friendship, and respect. So, another lesson we learn here, go back to that picture, third canto, part 2, yeah. So you see now what happens at time of death. The sinful living entities go to Yamaraj, then they take birth again. The child in the womb is praying for liberation from the womb, and then we go up a little bit, and then that picture there's talking about sacrifices, and the last picture there's Harinam Sankirtan, and it's going on today somewhere here in Seattle. Parijata is out there, and maybe somebody else is out there. And so, very interesting thing, this very intricate philosophy of Sankhya Yoga taught by Kapila to Devahuti. What is the conclusion of the whole Sankhya Yoga? That is chapter 33. Chapter 33, Harinam Sankirtan. She says, how wonderful are those who are chanting the holy name. They must have done all sacrifice and penance and pilgrimage in their past lives to be chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that's our lesson, second lesson from here, that the essence of all Sankhya philosophy is chanting the holy name of Krishna. Good. So what was the other lesson we learned here in this chapter? Culture of respect is Varnashram. And the second lesson was? Conclusion of all philosophy. Sankhya is Harinam. Harinam Sankirtan. Good. Okay, next picture. Canto 4, part 1. Go to the left. We have... Oh, now before we talk about this, I'm going to read to you something that we learned from Canto 3, chapter 29. There is devotional service in the three modes of nature. And the four devotees which we see in Canto 4 are showing us which mode of nature they are in. Now we've got the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, and pure devotional service. And we've got four devotees here. We've got Daksha, we've got Dhruva, and we've got Prithu, and we've got Lord Shiva. So I'm going to read you a description of the modes. You know, you have heard about these devotees before and their stories. So that's good, because I'm going to ask you which mode, who is in which mode. So I'm going to read the description of ignorance. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. Daksha. Okay. The worship of deities in the temple by a separatist with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, opulence, is devotion in the mode of passion. Dhruva, he wanted a kingdom. Okay. When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the diseases of fruit, the reactions of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. Prithu. And unadulterated devotional service is shown one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Lord. Lord Shiva is a pure devotee, and he will teach pure devotional service to the Prachetas. So now let's look at the first. Here is Daksha's sacrifice. And we see how Sati is upset, and she wants to go to her father's sacrifice. Shiva tells her don't go in chapter 3, but she goes and she commits suicide by fire. Lord Shiva sends a demon to kill Daksha, and then the demigods go and pacify Lord Shiva. Now there is a lesson to learn from this Daksha sack, 2 lessons to learn. That first lesson is don't judge by appearances. Don't judge a devotee. Daksha had a very high position. He was a Prajapati. He was very neat and clean and nicely dressed and opulent and effulgent. But he was in the mode of ignorance. And Lord Shiva looked like he was in the mode of ignorance, covered with ashes in the crematorium. But he was pure devotee. So if you look externally, you will think, oh, Daksha is a great devotee and Lord Shiva is just nothing. So sometimes we see people have positions, but there may be a humble devotee who is just doing humble service, maybe even in a greater position to do devotional service. Don't judge by appearances. Second lesson is don't do Vaishnavaparad. Avoid offenses to devotees. What happened to Daksha? His head got cut off, and he got the head of a goat. His second birth was with a goat's head. So don't do it. These are 2 lessons we learn from this. Okay, go to the next. Dhruva Maharaj. Yes, I will read about Dhruva. Chapter 8. Young Dhruva, insulted by his stepmother, leaves his palace for the forest to search out Lord Vishnu, desiring a kingdom greater than that of his father. He does austerities to please the Lord. For the first month he eats fruits and berries every 3rd day. He gradually perfects the pranayama process and closes all the holes of his body. So here again, the same lesson we learn from Dhruva is whether you are full of desires or have no desires, just worship Krishna, and you will get everything. He got material and spiritual. He went back to Godhead also. Second lesson from Dhruva is be determined. Don't give up. He was very determined to get the kingdom. Okay. So we can see here what happened to Dhruva. He fought with the yakshas, and then Manu stopped him, and at the end he went back to Godhead. And you see there's another airplane following Dhruva Maharaj. Whose airplane is that? Suniti, his mother's airplane. He took his mother back with him when he went back to Godhead. Isn't that nice? So we should train our children to be devotees and take us back. Of course, we may have to take them back. That's also our duty as parents. Good, good. So now, what lessons did we learn from this picture? A lot of lessons here in this picture from 4th Canto. Don't judge devotees by appearance. Don't commit Vaishnavaparad. We learned from Daksha. Always worship Krishna, whether you're full of desires. That we learned from Dhruva Maharaj. And be determined. Good. Okay, now we're going to go to the next picture, 4th Canto, part 2. We have King Prithu on the left. Remember, he's devotional service in the mode of goodness. His father was very bad, so the Brahmanas killed him and by humming a mantra, and out from his body came Prithu and Archie, his queen. Prithu was angry with the earth. There he is shooting his bow, ready to kill the earth because she wasn't giving grains. And then up above that, he's milking the earth and giving whatever everybody needs. In chapter 19, Indra steals the last horse of his 100th horse sacrifice, but then they make up in chapter 20, embrace like devotees should do, if they have a disagreement. And then chapter 21, he's instructing his citizens in Varnashram. And the lesson we learn here, whatever gift we have, whatever propensity we have, we can use that in devotional service to please Krishna. And second lesson we learn is Varnashram is not forced, but it's based on love. And this is devotional service in the mode of goodness. Okay, then we go to the next lotus to the right. Go to the right. Yes, good. That's Lord Shiva is explaining in chapter 24 how to worship Lord Krishna, and he prays for the benediction of association of devotees. And I'll read chapter 30. After performing austerities, the prachetas leave the water and see that tall trees have overgrown the earth. When the prachetas become angry, fire emits from their mouths and burns the trees. So that's up. See the picture to the right there? That's the prachetas burning. Meanwhile, while the prachetas are out doing austerities, their father is being instructed by Narada Muni, and there in chapter 25 to 28, you see this the analogy of Puranjan, city of 9 gates, which is this material body. Okay. So what lesson did we learn from here, this picture? Use our propensity, whatever propensity you may have, use it for Krishna. Varnashram is based on love. Good, good. We are learning as we go. Okay, next picture, Canto 1. Canto 5, Part 1. Lord Rishabhadev here on the left. And the first picture all the way to the right, to the left. All the way to the left. The first, chapter 1, you see a sun, a bright effulgence there. So Priyavrata, who's a son of Manu, he didn't like the fact that there was darkness at night. So what did he do? He made a chariot like the sun god, and he made light in the part where there was darkness. So there was no night when he was in charge. That was his management of the universe. He decided there should be no darkness, only light. Hard to tell the time of day, but anyway, that's what he did. He was powerful. And so then we go up to chapter 5. That's there in that first lotus. We have, yes, there. Good, good. We have Bharat instructing his 100 sons. And what is he telling him? Tapodivyam. Don't waste time trying for doing material austerity. Do spiritual austerity for spiritual happiness. Brahmasokyam, eternal happiness. So people are doing material austerity for temporary happiness. He's saying, you do spiritual, tapodivyam, spiritual austerity for eternal happiness. First lesson. Good. Now we go to Maharaj Bharat. That is on the right. Go to the right. Yeah, this lotus there. And I'll read chapter 8. He was in the level of bhava, but somehow he fell down. I'll read chapter 8. Bharata shows compassion to a helpless deer calf. He becomes attached to this animal and distracted from spiritual practices. Sheltering the deer, he becomes bound to it with affection. Thus, at the time of death, he thinks of the deer and becomes a deer in his next life. So there we see the third life of Bharat, Jada Bharat, where some dacoits are trying to sacrifice him to Kali. Kali gets angry, jumps off the altar, and kills the dacoits. And then next, he's instructing King Rahugana in spiritual life. So lesson from Bharat Maharaj is be very attentive in spiritual life. He fell down due to lack of good association, so you should also make sure you have good association in spiritual life. Okay, I'm going to read chapter 14. We have that's up there on the right, chapter 14. Shukadev Goswami explains the meaning of the story of the forest of material enjoyment. A merchant entering the forest to acquire goods is like the greedy conditioned soul entering this world and chasing the objects of the senses. Like a deer chasing mirages in the desert, the conditioned soul pursues material existence despite disturbances in his life and considers this world to be permanent. Permanent. Okay. So what were the lessons we learned here in Canto 5, Part 1? Be attentive and have good association. And what was the instructions? Austerity. Spiritual austerity. Don't waste time in material austerity. But you do give your life for spiritual austerity. Okay. So next picture, Canto 5, Part 2. Here we have... Next picture? Yes, there we go. This is about the structure of the universe. I'll read chapter 17. Here we see Vamanadev kicking a hole in the universe, and the Ganga is coming down. Chapter 17. The Ganges descends from the causal ocean. Because it washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev, it can purify the mind of every living entity by its transcendental touch. Good. So then we have the prayers of the residents of Jambudvip. Here we have at the bottom Lord Nrsingadev. Who is worshipping Lord Nrsingadev? It is Prahlad. Who is worshipping next to Lord Nrsingadev? Pradyumna. Who is worshipping Pradyumna? It's Lakshmi. Lakshmi. And then we have Varaha at the bottom. Who is worshipping Varaha? It is the Earth. Bhumi Devi. Then on the right there is Lord Ram and Lakshman. Who is worshipping? Hanuman. Yes, his picture is there. Okay, go to the right. Now we're going to see some of the structure of the universe. The sun god is on his chariot going around Mount Meru. Then we have all the planets there in chapter 22. Shishimara Chakra. And then down to the lower planets, Sutala. There we have Bali Maharaj worshipping Vamanadev. Then Lord Shiva worshipping Sankarshan. And at the end, there is the hellish planet. So I'll read chapter 26. Shukadev describes how a sinful man goes to different hells, where the assistants of Yamaraj punish him. Those who kill and cook animals and birds enter the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where agents of Yamaraj boil them in oil. Okay. Did we learn any lessons here? I don't think so. Okay. I'll go to the next one, Canto 6. So Canto 6, we have the story of Jamila, a devotee, another devotee who fell down due to bad association. But nothing is lost. At the time of death, he chants Narayan, Narayan. So one lesson we learned from him is that always chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Pariksha Maharaj, because at the beginning of this canto, Pariksha was asking Shukadev about how we can help these people who are suffering in hell. How can we help them? And so Shukadev tells this story. It's by chanting Hare Krishna. First he says, well, they can do atonement. And Pariksha says, no, that doesn't work. I know, I'm a king, I punish them, they go and do it again. Atonement doesn't work, punishment doesn't work. He says, okay, how about jnana? But then we find jnana, you cut off the weeds at the top, but the roots are still there. So the material desires are still in the heart. And that's why then he told this story. It's only by pure devotional service, chanting Hare Krishna, can you actually get rid of the roots of sinful desires. Okay. So that is the first lesson, always chant Hare Krishna. I'll read chapter 3. Yamaraj instructs his messengers not to approach the pure devotees of the Lord who have fully surrendered to the Lord's lotus feet. Okay, so go down to the, on the left we have Daksha, who's doing austerities in his third birth. And he has 1,000 sons. Narada Muni makes them all sannyasis. Then he has first 10,000 sons, then 1,000 sons. So then he gets upset with Narada and he curses Narada Muni. Again, he's doing the same thing as he did before. I'll read chapter 5. Narada Muni preaches to all of Daksha's sons to leave home and take sannyas. Daksha becomes angry and curses him to be unable to stay anywhere permanently. So, that's the first lesson we learn, is chant Hare Krishna. Then on the right bottom, go to the right. Yeah, that is the story of Vritrashura, who was a demon, but somehow he was praying in pure devotional service. So it's very surprising. How could a demon pray like that? And the answer is, if you go up to the right, top, go up, and to the right. Yeah, the top, yes, this lotus. His previous birth, he was a devotee. So lesson we learn is that devotional service is never lost. I'll read chapter 17. One day, while flying in his airplane, Chitraketu comes upon Lord Shiva embracing Parvati in an assembly of siddhas, charanas, and sages. Seeing Lord Shiva in that situation, Chitraketu loudly laughs. Parvati becomes very angry at him and curses him. Thus Chitraketu is later born as the demon Vritrashura. Okay. So devotional service can be performed in any circumstance, even if you become a demon in your next life. There are some stories where devotees were out distributing books and some people were taking the book and ripping it and throwing it in the garbage. Some demonic people. But after some time, some of these people became devotees. You know why they became? Because they touched the book. Prabhupada, the devotees complained to Prabhupada, oh, we sell the books and sometimes they tear them and throw them. And Prabhupada said, did they touch the book? And they said, yes, they will get benefit if they touched the book. Yeah. So that's like Vritrashura. Okay. So what lessons here in this chapter 6? Always chant Hare Krishna. No, devotional service is never lost. Right. And so don't give up. Any circumstance, yes. No matter what, if you're in difficulty, you can still do devotional service. Okay, so any questions on this? This was based on this book. If you want a book after, I have books available. This one, and also I have Bhagavad Gita at a glance, with a picture for every verse of Bhagavad Gita. So you have any questions now at this point? No questions. Okay, Jai, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. The second part of this seminar will be at Nanda Suta's house, and 6:30 tonight. The rest of the Bhagavatam, last 6 cantos. Hare Krishna. The books are there on the table. You can see the books if you like.